Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Skyrim. We're working our way through Whiterun. We've done all the houses in the Plains District, we've also done War Maidens and the Drunken Huntsman. It's time to do the three other shops. Let's start with Belethor's General Goods. Belethor's has two inhabitants, Belethor and Sigurd.
Some beef?
Sigurd's out here chopping wood, so we can deal with him right now. Take candlelight off.
No?
He's got ale.
No elven spices, just some salt.
He's generating the firewood right now, so I'm not going to bother pickpocketing that. He's got 5 gold, a Horker loaf,
Salt, are you?
and a lockpick. Talk to him.
I work for Belethor at the General Goods Store.
I simply prefer quality merchandise.
Come by Belethor's shop at the market. I'm sure we've got something you need.
Much fat.
Don't mean to be rude, but I'm too busy to talk right now. Suit yourself,
Yes?
then.
That's it for
Woods are
Sigurd.
outside the wall. Walk straight in. Can't miss them. Good luck on your hunt.
Good day.
Now, there's never any way to make friends with Belethor, save to invest in his shop, but
Give a holler if you have any questions.
that can take a long time. Start under these stairs. Empty barrel, 4 cabbage, 4 red apples. See, he's gonna chase me around. Which is okay. In fact, I suppose it's to be expected. He's got a garnet, pickpocket to 81, 11 gold. Come on. 11 gold.
Get away from me!
A key to the shop. Nord mead, a red apple,
Never!
and a ring of minor lockpicking. Pretty sure I already have fortify lockpicking. So that's just eventual, yes. So that's just eventual fence fodder. But let's talk to him.
Everything's for sale, my friend. Everything. If I had a sister, I'd sell her in a second. I'd even buy one of your relatives if you're looking to sell. Yeah, that's a little joke. You just let me know what you need. I am at your beck and call. Welcome to Belethor's General Goods. Welcome indeed. Now, I know what you're thinking. This Belethor, how could he part with such magnificent treasures? I'm all ears.
How's business? Well, let's
Do come.
cast down the magic card first.
Yes?
How's business?
Interesting, to say the least. What with all that's been going on. On the one hand, supplies are harder to come by since fewer traders are traveling the roads these days. But on the other, the scarcity of supplies has led to some, well, elevated prices. All that matters is that I have what you need, and it's worth every septum.
What brings a Breton to Skyrim?
Isn't it obvious? By the wonderful weather and hospitable people, of course. Not to mention my great fondness for dragons and petty political power struggles. But without a doubt, the most compelling feature of this frozen wasteland is the volley of inane questions leveled at me on a regular basis.
Well, sorry.
Remember...
Alright, let's do upstairs next.
I assure you, I'm prepared to make any...
Over here in Sigurd's little bed area. We got food and some dishes and strongbox, apprentice locked. I have 4 lockpicks to break, so let's do that first and then open it up. Just while we're out of sight. Lockpicking to 41, that's solid. 260 gold and a silver ingot. Even more solid. I needed 9 more silver ingots, so with that, the number drops to 8. Groovy. And we have a dresser. Shoes, hat, cowl, clothes. Now we still have Belethor's bedroom to contend with. Let's roll into here. We got a couple of end tables. 6 gold, roll of paper. Oh, but he's looking at me. Fall from Glory, which we've already read. way back at the Sleeping Giant Inn, you may recall. It's dark in here, so he can't see me, even though he's staring right at me. Let's just get all the boots and jugs and whatnot out of that shelf. And that's it for the top floor. Illusion to 50. How are we doing here? Good. Nothing else in this room. Let's do his back room next. And then we'll finish it off with his main room. Alright, he sees me. Alright, well, let's cast Courage 3 more times. And then let's reset him to his counter. And as long as I stay quiet, I should be able to clear out the back room, coming in through the back door like this, without aggravating him. And then we'll just have to deal with the main room. Hooray. I know, it's all so exciting, isn't it? Let's put our hands away. Let's just make sure we stay quiet. 2 salmons.
I assure you, I'm prepared to make any deal.
Some merchants glitch like that in that they'll automatically talk just because you're inside, whether or not they can actually see you. There were 3 elves' ears there. Let's just creep over to the table now.
I can tell you're a discriminating customer. Perhaps you're a wealthy
Let's
one.
clear it out. Let's see if we can get in. I was hopeful I could get in behind him without being detected, but it looks like that's not going to happen. That shouldn't be too much of a problem, though, because as long as we stay in line of sight of his counter position, he won't actually move. So hiding from him should be pretty easy. Let's search the countertop first. 2 potatoes, a salt pile, a horker tusk, and a cave bear pelt. Now the only thing I found that I need is the horker tusk. I needed 2, so with that, I only need 1 more. Pretty awesome. Let's roll over here. In these shelves, we've got red apples, which for some reason don't have stolen tags. Same with those potatoes. And a book I have not read called Uncommon Taste by the Gourmet. Congratulations! By opening this volume, you have taken the first step on a truly epic journey, a voyage through the vast landscape of Breton food and its myriad joys and wonders. You will explore scents, flavors, and textures so exquisite they will seem impossible, but they are more than possible. Indeed, by following the carefully selected recipes presented in this cookbook, you will prepare extraordinary dishes with such ordinary ease, those around you will suspect sorcery. But the only magic is that which exists in your own heart, the passion you possess for creating delicious, amazing food that can be prepared easily and enjoyed endlessly. Start here, and someday you too can be a gourmet. Sunlight souffle. Ingredients: 2 1/2 ounces cow's cheese, 1 ounce butter, 1 ounce flour, 9 ounces milk, a dash of salt, a dash of pepper, a cupful of ground nutmeg. Recipe: stoke the flames of your oven and achieve a moderate heat. Grate the cheese into thin shavings by running a finely honed elven dagger over the block. Separate the egg whites from the yolks and beat the whites vigorously until they thicken. Begin preparation of the signature sunshine sauce. Melt the butter and add in the flour while stirring continuously until well blended. Move the mixture to a smaller flame and begin gently stirring in the milk. It is crucial that you do not stop stirring. Continue to do so for 10 minutes until the mixture thickens. Then and only then will the sunshine sauce be considered ready. Add the salt, pepper, and nutmeg and remove from the flame. Add in the grated cheese and then the egg yolks. Stir well until fully blended. Then gently add in the egg whites with a spoon made of carved hickory wood. Gently pour the mix into 4 stonework souffle dishes, filling each nearly but not quite to the top. Put the dishes in your moderately hot oven and shut that door. Keep sealed for 25 minutes, or your scrumptious suns will rise only to fall down flat into the oven's abyss. Remove after 25 minutes and serve immediately. Behold the brilliance of the sun and the exquisite flavor of the sunshine soufflé. Potage le magnifique. Ingredients: 4 cups chicken broth, 4 cups beef broth, 2 1/2 ounces butter, 1 wooden flagon of flour, 1 cup diced carrots, 1/2 cup diced onions. Recipe: stoke the flames of your open pit fire and achieve a low heat. Combine all ingredients into a large soup pot. Stir vigorously. Once hot, pour into earthen soup bowls immediately. Behold the gourmet's signature dish, the potage le magnifique. But wait, I know what you're wondering. That's it? Is that all there is to it? What's the secret of the gourmet? Do you really expect me to give away the secret to my most popular dish? Well, guess what? I will, for that secret, my friends, is you. That's right, the potage le magnifique is delicious and extraordinary. Using just the simple ingredients listed, you will create a potage that is both hearty and delicious. But in order to make the potage le magnifique truly magnificent, it takes the imagination of a truly inspired chef. Do you have that gift? I have served bowls of the potage le magnifique that have caused grown men to weep with joy. Can you guess what I added? Can you create magic? Oh, how odd. Alright, let's do these shelves behind him. I don't know why a few of these things don't have stolen tags. It's weirding me out. Fall from Glory we've read. Beggar Prince we've read. We've read all 3 volumes of Baron Zaya's official biography. Nightingales, Fact or Fiction. That's a new book. The Nightingales, Fact or Fiction, by Wilhelmina Roth. Mention the nightingale to any thief worth his salt and he'll laugh in your face. He'll tell you that the supposed avengers of the Daedric Lord Nocturnal are nothing but fictional characters who live nowhere else but within tales designed to scare young footpads into doing what they're told. But are they fictional or simply misunderstood? While it's true that most scholars would scoff at the notion of a holy sect appearing within the normally unethical and unorganized rabble that is the Thieves' Guild, evidence suggests that such a group existed at one time within the borders of Skyrim. 120 years before the publication of this tome, a corpse was discovered wearing a strange suit of armor that was described as Forged Midnight. The tattered armor bore a crest of some sort, the symbol of a bird embracing a circle of undetailed blackness. The remains and the armor was taken to the College of Winterhold for study, but mysteriously vanished only a day after it arrived. The crest from this armor was circulated around Skyrim for years, but identification proved almost impossible. Then the most unlikely of sources, a prisoner incarcerated within the mines of Markarth, claimed that it was the mark of a group of thieves who called themselves the Nightingales. When pressed for more information, the prisoner claimed that the Nightingales were warriors of Nocturnal and performed her bidding without question. He claimed his source was someone he knew within the Thieves' Guild of Skyrim, but he refused to identify them by name, so his story was quickly dismissed. The second piece of evidence pointing to the existence of the Nightingales exists to this day just outside of Riften. Discovered at the terminus of a short pathway off of the main road stands a stone of unidentified blackened material. Carved into its face is the same Avian symbol previously found on the dark suit of armor. To those that subscribed to the existence of the Nightingales, this was thought to be some sort of a meeting place. To others, this symbol was once again dismissed as a hoax, or simply a diversion created by the Thieves' Guild. The final and most controversial sample of evidence is a passage found scrawled on the inside of a cell wall in Whiterun. The cell had previously been occupied by a Dunmer named Lorthus, was incarcerated for murder, and was set for execution. After the deed was performed, and Lorthus's cell was examined, the following was found etched into one of the stone blocks. "Take my hand, Lady Nocturnal, for it's my will to serve you. As a nightingale I'm born anew. Let my past echo our triumph." This is the first and only time that a solid connection between Nocturnal and the Nightingale has been made. The unusual nature of the passage, the religious connotations towards Nocturnal made by a career criminal, kept discussions lively for years regarding the possibility of this group actually existing. Sadly, since not a single piece of evidence beyond this has surfaced to date, this exciting discovery faded into obscurity and the debate subsided. With these scant samples of evidence, conclusions are difficult to formulate. All we're left with are more questions than answers. Can religion and thievery coexist? Does the Daedric Lord Nocturnal have active agents roaming Skyrim with a no doubt nefarious purpose? Does the Thieves Guild have extensive knowledge of the Nightingales but remain sworn to secrecy? Perhaps one day the answers to these questions will be revealed, but at present it falls to you, the reader, to decide whether the Nightingales are fact or merely fiction. Let's head over to this other shelf next.
I assure you, I'm prepared to any deal.
And Biography of the Wolf Queen. If we haven't read that, it's a speech skill book. Speech to 51. That's awesome. So, let me pull it off the book list. And then, let me go to my list of free skill boosts. I had 9 boosts left for speech. Now that number's down to 8. I have 4 skill books left to find. Biography of the Wolf Queen by Qatar Ariphanes. Few historic figures are viewed as unambiguously evil, but Potema, the so-called Wolf Queen of Solitude, surely qualifies for that dishonor. Born to the imperial family in the 67th year of the Third Era, Potema was immediately presented to her grandfather, the Emperor Uriel Septim II, a famously kind-hearted man, who viewed the solemn, intense babe and whispered, "She looks like a she-wolf about ready to pounce." Potema's childhood in the imperial city was certainly difficult from the start. Her father, Prince Pelagius Septim, and her mother, Chisara, showed little affection for their brood. Her eldest brother, Antiochus, 16 at Potema's birth, was already a drunkard and womanizer, infamous in the empire. Her younger brothers, Sepphoris and Magnus, were born much later, so for years she was the only child in the imperial court. By the age of 14, Potema was a famous beauty with many suitors, but she was married to cement relations with King Mantiarco of the Nordic kingdom of Solitude. She entered the court, it was said, as a pawn, but she quickly became a queen. The elderly King Mantiarco loved her and allowed her all the power she wished, which was total. When Uriel Septim II died the following year, her father was made emperor, and he faced a greatly depleted treasury, thanks to his father's poor management. Pelagius II dismissed the Elder Council, forcing them to buy back their positions. In Third Era 97, after many miscarriages, the Queen of Solitude gave birth to a son, who she named Uriel after her grandfather. Mantiarco quickly made Uriel his heir, but the queen had much larger ambitions for her child. 2 years later, Pelagius II died, many say poisoned by a vengeful former council member, and his son, Potema's brother Antiochus, took the throne. At age 48, it could be said that Antiochus's wild seeds had yet to be sown, and the history books are nearly pornographic in their depictions of life at the imperial court during the years of his reign. Potema, whose passion was for power, not fornication, was scandalized every time she visited the imperial city. Mantiarco, king of Solitude, died the springtide after Pelagius II. Uriel ascended to the throne, ruling jointly with his mother. Doubtless Uriel had the right and would have preferred to rule alone, but Potema convinced him that his position was only temporary. He would have the empire, not merely the kingdom. In Castle Solitude, she entertained dozens of diplomats from other kingdoms of Skyrim, sowing seeds of discontent. Her guest list over the years expanded to include kings and queens of High Rock and Morrowind as well. For 13 years, Antiochus ruled Tamriel, and proved an able leader despite his moral laxity. Several historians point to proof that Potema cast the spell that ended her brother's life, but evidence one way or another is lost in the sands of time. In any event, both she and her son Uriel were visiting the imperial court in Third Era 112 when Antiochus died, and immediately challenged the rule of his daughter and heir, Kintyra. Potema's speech to the Elder Council is perhaps helpful to students of public speaking. She began with flattery and self-abasement. "My most august and wise friends, members of the Elder Council, I am but a provincial queen, and I can only assume to bring to issue what you yourselves must have already pondered." She continued on to praise the late emperor, who was a popular ruler in spite of his flaws. He was a true septim and a great warrior, destroying, with your counsel, the near-invincible armada of Pyandonia. but little time was wasted before she came to her point. The Empress Magna unfortunately did nothing to temper my brother's lustful spirits. In point of fact, no whore in the slums of the city spread out on more beds than she. Had she attended to her duties in the imperial bedchamber more faithfully, we would have a true heir to the empire, not the half-wit milksop bastards who call themselves the Emperor's children. The girl called Kintyra is popularly believed to be the daughter of Magna and the captain of the guard. It may be that she is the daughter of Magna and the boy who cleans the cistern. We can never know for certain. Not as certainly as we can know the lineage of my son Uriel, the last of the Septim dynasty. Despite Potema's eloquence, the Elder Council allowed Kintyra to assume the throne as the Empress Kintyra II. Potema and Uriel angrily returned to Skyrim and began assembling the rebellion. Details of the War of the Red Diamond are included in other histories. We need not recount the Empress Kintyra II's capture and eventual execution in High Rock in the year 3rd Era 114, nor the ascension of Potema's son Uriel III 7 years later. Her surviving brothers, Sepphoris and Magnus, fought the Emperor and his mother for years, tearing the empire apart in a civil war. When Uriel III fought his uncle Sepphoris in Hammerfell at the Battle of Ichidog in 3rd Era 127, Potema was fighting her other brother, Uriel's uncle Magnus, in Skyrim at the Battle of Falkenstar. She received word of her son's defeat and capture, just as she was preparing to mount an attack on Magnus's weakest flank. The 61-year-old Wolf Queen flew into a rage and led the assault herself. It was a success, and Magnus and his army fled. In the midst of the victory celebration, Potema heard the news that her son the Emperor had been killed by an angry mob before he had even made it for trial in the imperial city. He had been burned to death within his carriage. When Sepphoris was proclaimed emperor, Potema's fury was terrible to behold. She summoned Daedra to fight for her, had her necromancers resurrect her fallen enemies as undead warriors, and mounted attack after attack on the forces of the Emperor Sepphoris I. Her allies began leaving her as her madness grew, and her only companions were the zombies and skeletons she had amassed over the years. The Kingdom of Solitude became a land of death. Stories of the ancient Wolf Queen being waited on by rotting skeletal chambermaids and holding war plans with vampiric generals terrified her subjects. Potema died after a month-long siege on her castle in the year 3rd Era 137 at the age of 90. While she lived, she had been the Wolf Queen of Solitude, daughter of the Emperor Pelagius II, wife of King Mantiarcho, aunt of the Empress Kintyra II, mother of Emperor Uriel III, and sister of the Emperors Antiochus and Sepphoris. 3 years after her death, Antiochus, I think it means Sepphoris, died, and his and Potema's brother Magnus took the throne. Her death has hardly diminished her notoriety. Though there is little direct evidence of this, some theologians maintain that her spirit was so strong she became a Daedra after her death, inspiring mortals to mad ambition and treason. It is also said that her madness so infused Castle Solitude that it infected the next king to rule there. Ironically, that was her 18-year-old nephew Pelagius, the son of Magnus. Whatever the truth of the legend, it is undeniable that when Pelagius left Solitude in 3rd Era 145 to assume the title of the Emperor Pelagius III, he quickly became known as Pelagius the Mad. It is even widely rumored that he murdered his father Magnus. The Wolf Queen must surely have had the last laugh. Okay, so there's nothing over here. So we've got this little table.
I can tell you're a discriminating customer. Perhaps you're a wealthy one, too, hmm?
That one didn't have stolen tags for whatever reason. I can just pull stuff off of here one by one. That's not too bad. Alright, we got that table done.
Please do look around. I'm sure I have something you'll want.
Oh, he's on the move. Damn. I really didn't want him to move. Huh, none of this has stolen tags either. Well, that makes things easy. Boots, hat, ragged cap, miner's clothes. How does so much of this stuff not have stolen tags? I mean, I'm not unhappy. It's awesome. Let's just reset him to the counter to go after that last little bit of clutter. That seems easiest. What do I need to hit?
Stop!
Oh man, I thought I had it. I was hidden for a second. There we go. And that's all of that. Just need the wardrobe.
Everything's for sale, my friend. You need visit no other shops today.
There he comes. 2 gold. Okay. My carry weight's only at 191. I've only been going about 25 minutes. Let's move to the next place on our list, which is the next shop in the square, or plaza. I guess it's not really a square. Arcadia's Cauldron. Now, with Arcadia's Cauldron, we can make things free to take. First thing we need to do is run up to Dragon's Reach. Oh, I've been forgetting to cast Courage.
It's a shame, isn't
Against its own people! Rise up! Rise up, children of the Empire! Rise up, Stormfront!
No lollygagging.
If we go talk to Farengar, I'm not gonna, talk out his dialogue options. I'm just gonna pick the relevant one. But he gives us a delivery quest to Arcadia, which will make us friends with her. And then navigating her shop is much easier. She is the only resident of her shop, the only person we need to worry about pickpocketing and talking to. Well, let's go visit Farengar, up in his little nook here on the right.
It seems this damnable conflict has claimed everyone's passions of late.
The thing
Me,
to ask.
I prefer my books and my spells.
The thing to ask is, are you the only wizard in Whiterun?
I believe I am, yes. Technically speaking, of course. The city is also home to a priest, priestess, an alchemist, and I'm sure others who practice. Ah, that reminds me. Speaking of alchemists, I have some frost salts for Arcadia. She asked me to obtain them for one of her potions. Would you be so kind as to deliver the frost salts for me? I'm sure Arcadia will provide some form of recompense.
I'll deliver the frost salts for you.
Good. You're clearly better suited than I am to carry out such a menial task.
He's a bit of a douchebag.
You know, if you've got the aptitude.
But there's our objective. Give the frost salts to Arcadia. Well, let's just go do that.
You tried mercenary work? Go cast your fancy magic someplace else.
looking for my husband Nazim? Check the Jarl's backside. That's usually where he stuffs himself these days.
I trust you aren't considering evil.
Alright, now we can roll on into
I work
Arcadia's
with my
Cauldron.
money. Sell fruits and vegetables. It's fun most of the time. It's a fine day with you.
First thing I'll do is pick her pocket, then finish her quest and talk to her, and then loot her shop. All pretty straightforward. Here she is. She's got 8 gold, almost nothing in the way of pickpockets, key to her shop, a lockpick, and a salt pile. And let's get her one-liners.
You look rather pale. Could be ataxia. It's quite a problem back home in Cyrodiil. Pardon me, but do I detect a case of the rattles? I've got something for that. I have several elixirs for sale. Maybe a hardy Nord like you doesn't need a cure-all, huh? What about an invisibility potion? Yes?
Alright, let's run it
Good
down.
afternoon.
Illusion to 51. Always good. And now,
Yes?
I have some frost salts for you from Farengar.
Ah, splendid, splendid. It's for a special brew I'm working on. A love elixir like none other. Maybe I'll test it on Farengar first. Oh, but I suppose you expect some compensation. Here. These potions should suffice.
That completes the quest. In the creation kit, it's called Salt for Arcadia. I'd like training in alchemy.
I think I can teach you a thing or two.
She's the expert trainer for alchemy, so she can train us up to 75. Not that I'm gonna do it, but... So you're a healer?
Of a sort. I don't have formal training in the restoration school, but something just as good. Within these walls, I have all that I need to brew a potion for nearly any ailment. If I had a septum for every case of rock joint or whitbane I've cured since I opened this shop, I'd be a rich woman indeed.
You ever think of returning to Cyrodiil?
Why? Because I'm a proud citizen of the Empire? Because the Stormcloaks only want Nords in Skyrim? The Stormcloaks can rot in oblivion for all I care. I've lived in this city for 20 years. 20!
Alright.
Come back anytime.
Now we're ready to just clear
I
out
sell
her shop.
cures for all ills, and I'll be happy to serve you.
I like to start off in the back and work my way out, as you know, so let's go to her bedroom. Some clutter, some clothes. Her strongbox has an expert lock. How do you like that? I had one spare pick to break. Now I need to actually get the Joker open. Damn. I picked the wrong direction. You know, when it's that close, you gotta pick just, you know, a pixel or two one way or the other. You kinda got a 50-50 shot. 262 gold. Good. We head over here. We can search the wardrobe. No problem. And a few dishes on top of that one. Then we go over here. Same deal. Alright, down we go. Let's clear off this table. Do the other side room, which has another expert lock on it, surprisingly. You'd expect there to be something good in here since there's an expert lock, but if I remember right, there really isn't. My goodness. Got it. Lockpicking to 42. Well, that's certainly an upside. Fish barrel. Barrel. Fish barrel. Nothing very useful in any of them. And here we have a chest with 11 gold. Alright. Let's grab this kettle on our way to the back room. Start with this stuff on the floor. Then we'll do this shelf. We've read Songs of the Return, Volume 7. We've read all of the Real Baron Zaya. That's it for that. Let's grab the lantern, check that sack. We've read Wabbajack, we've read the Book of Daedra, we've read Pension of the Ancestor Moth. As we go over here, there's a book we haven't read, The Herbalist's Guide to Skyrim. It's valuable enough that it'll count as stealing, so we need to just kind of pull her back in here. In fact, let's just use the back door and reset her to her counter.
Huh?
That'll be easy.
If there's anything I can help you with, you have but to ask.
And then we can clear out the main room. And then I think we'll have time to do the Bannered Mare. Which will be nice. That'll finish off the Plains District. So we've been going how long? Only 35 minutes. Yeah, that's plenty of time. Alright, the Herbalist's Guide to Skyrim. Alchemy increased to 62. Well, you've got to love that. So let me make note of that in all the relevant places. First on my book list, take off Herbalist's Guide to Skyrim. And then, if I bounce over to my free skill boost list, on Alchemy, where is it? There it is. I had 6 Alchemy boosts left, so now it's 5. I only have 2 skill books left to find. Pretty cool. Herbalist's Guide to Skyrim, Agneta Phalia. Those avoiding this northern province due to claims of barbarism or concerns over climate are doing themselves a disservice. In fact, Skyrim has a wealth of materials that every alchemist would do well to avail himself of. I have traveled extensively throughout this land, and here are but a few of my findings. Bleeding Crown. The caps of these mushrooms do indeed appear smeared with blood, though it is often hard to see in the dark, damp places in which they grow. Not uncommonly found in Skyrim, their abundance is countered by the difficulty in acquiring them. As any experienced herbalist knows, the darkest of caves often conceal far more than mere mushrooms. Nonetheless, these potent fungi, when combined with certain powdered antlers, produce a mixture rendering one quite susceptible to poison. Their usefulness is also quite apparent when mixed with lavender, creating a substance highly resistant to magic. Deathbell. Folklore abounds about this flower found in the swamps of Hjalmarch. Some stories claim it grows where unfortunate deaths have taken place. Others insist it grows first and then lures unsuspecting people and animals to their doom. I have found no direct evidence to support these stories. Indeed, I found the flowers difficult to locate at all. While it is most well known for its use in poisons, it would be remiss to overlook that the blooms of the Deathbell are very effective in mixtures for boosting one's alchemy skill. That actually isn't true, and I don't know why it's in there. Dragonfly. Excuse me. A surprising number of insects survive in Skyrim's climate, many thriving in the lower southern areas of the province. Dragonflies can be found in a great many places, and while catching them can be a daunting prospect, the reward is well worth the effort. It was beyond the scope of my research to determine whether the orange and blue dragonflies are fully different breeds, or merely simple color variations, but through experimentation I found that the orange dragonfly, when combined with the very hardy barnacles found along the coast, transfer some of their flighty nature, giving the herbalist some very nimble fingers. Hagraven Claw. The claws of a hagraven are best obtained in shops. It is inadvisable to suggest one collects them oneself. These creatures have traded in their humanity for access to powerful magics, and the transformations they undergo infuse their entire beings with some element of that power. Ingesting the powdered claws makes one more resistant to magic, but an especially curious property of the claws is revealed when mixed with snowberries, often found in Skyrim's higher elevations. I found myself capable of comprehending enchantments I had believed mystifying after ingesting the mixture, and have passed this knowledge on to several court wizards who were grateful for the knowledge. Jazzbay. There was a time when it would be considered treason to pick one of these grapes without express permission from the Emperor himself. It is my understanding that although growers in Skyrim were successful in improving the fruit's survivability, it came at the cost of flavor. No longer is it quite the prize it once was, and yet, growing amidst the volcanic tundra of Eastmarch, it is still immensely useful for concocting potions. Mages value it highly, as it can be combined with simple garlic to enhance the regeneration of magicka. While no longer against the law, picking these grapes in large amounts is best kept to oneself. Lunamoth wing. As with the dragonflies, I was taken aback by the number of butterflies, moths, and other insects that manage to thrive in Skyrim. The lunamoth is especially beautiful. Its thin, almost ephemeral wings seem too delicate to hoist anything into the air, giving them an almost magical appearance. Indeed, that sense extends to the properties they exhibit when crushed and distilled, an action I admit was difficult to perform at first, no matter my resolve to discover all that Skyrim has to offer. These creatures are simply that beautiful. While they can be used for creating poisons that damage magicka, I feel that would be a waste of their potential. Do not be alarmed if, when the wings are broken down almost completely, they appear to almost disappear under your mortar. That very quality makes the wings quite effective in potions of invisibility. Tundra cotton. Not all Nords are savages wrapped in animal skins howling at the moon. There are a wide variety of fabrics worn throughout the land, thanks in no small part to the stubborn tundra cotton plant. It soaks up what rain it can in the plains west of Whiterun and blooms frequently. While it does not exhibit any of the more striking alchemical properties, it is a staple in potions for not only fortifying magicka, but for resisting spells as well. I wonder if that quality is what allows it to have adapted so well to this climate. Nightshade. The name and shape of this plant are known to all, although that isn't what it looks like, almost at all. Long understood to be one of the more potent components in many poisons, the average Nord keeps his distance from the bright purple flowers nestled among dark leaves. It is exceedingly effective as a pure poison, but can also be combined with other compounds to stiffen joints as well. It is thus favored amongst those who wish to disable their opponents in battle, and can be found coating the blades of many of the more unsavory characters in Skyrim. Well, good. Carry weight's up to 241. That's still not bad. Let's run down some magic. Let's search behind the counter first.
Quite a problem back home in Cyrodiil.
Plate, cup, bowl, and 1, 2, 3, 4 death bell. Well, now that is truly handy. I needed 18 more death bell, so with that the number drops to 14. Frostbite venom.
Pardon me.
Ice Wraith
do I
teeth. I needed 3 more Ice Wraith teeth, so with that the number drops to 2.
The case of the rattles?
Juniper
That's
berries.
something for
I think
that.
I already had. Alright, let's do the shelves behind the counter
I
now.
offer remedies for ailments both common and rare.
So there's a void salt there, which I need to hoard for part of a quest, but I can pull that single void salt off the list,
We
which is
know
all
if
I
can be of
needed.
service.
Basket, lavender, frostbite, another death bell. That drops the number to 13. Awesome. Glow dust. Oop. Not sure how she saw that, but oh well. Potion
I
of
have
haggling.
several elixirs.
I don't know why she decided to look at me. And 2 slaughterfish scales. That's also handy. I needed 20. Those 2 dropped the number to 18.
Maybe a hardy
Let's
Nord
look
like
up.
you doesn't need a cure-all.
2 frost miriams and
What about
3
an invisibility
elves'
potion?
ears. And here's another set of shelves. Got a sack, which I can search without stealing. 3 green apples. Yet another death bell. That one drops my total to 12.
And tonics?
We've read
salves,
Herbane's
poultices,
Bestiary Ice Wraiths.
and potions.
We've read A Dream of Sovngarde. We've read The Firmament.
Browse to your heart's content.
Now I need to steal these potions. She needs to turn around before that can happen. And she seems reluctant to do that, for whatever reason. Can't imagine why. Let's leave everything I need to steal. We've got potions on those shelves. Let's go in front of the counter now.
What do you need?
First, let's run down.
I
Canis
sell
root,
cures for all
basket,
ills,
kettle,
and I'll be happy to serve
3
you.
white caps. That just leaves those potions and whatever's on the counter. An empty petty soul gem. Some potions. Let's take the troll fat, the blisterwort, the spriggan sap, the creep cluster, and the spider egg. Can take the taproot, which is good. I needed 2 more. That number drops to 1. On the empty lesser soul gem. Boots, skull. I've read of Fiori and Holgear. An explorer's guide to Skyrim is illusion increased to 52. Awesome.
I'm back home.
Let's read An Explorer's Guide to Skyrim by Marcius Carvane, Viscount Bruma. Far too often, noble visitors from Cyrodiil see little more of Skyrim than the view from their carriage. To be sure, this coarse, uncivilized province is far from hospitable, but it is also a place of fierce, wild beauty, with grand vistas and inspiring natural wonders awaiting those with the will to seek them out and the refinement to truly appreciate them. If you are of a mind to see Skyrim for yourself, I recommend beginning your adventure as I did, by seeking out Stones of Fate. No doubt you are taken aback by the name, as I once was. The provincials and village folk have all manner of dark tales about these ancient monuments, stories of necromantic rituals and fell spirits of great and terrible powers conferred on any who dare to touch them. The stories are, as Jarl Igroth once told me, a load of mammoth dung. A bit uncouth, but you get the point. To be sure, keep your guards with you at all times. Brigands and wild animals are never to be taken lightly, but the stones themselves are nothing to fear. Quite the contrary, their proximity to cities and roads makes them ideal destinations for the novice explorer, and many boast spectacular views that make the journey well worth the effort. To whet your appetite, here are 4 such locations. Most travelers enter Skyrim by way of Helgen, gateway to the north. If you find yourself in this backwater hovel, consider taking an afternoon's ride to the north, keeping to the road as it winds down the cliffs at the eastern end of Lake Ilinalta. Just off the path, on a small bluff, lie the 3 Guardian Stones, the greatest concentration of standing stones in all Skyrim. The view of the lake here at sunset is simply sublime. Visitors from Cheydinhal will pass through Riften, city of intrigue and larceny since Tiber Septim's day. If you seek adventure in the Rift, leave the city by the southern gate and cast your gaze upon the bluff that rises to the south. Atop it sits the Shadow Stone, a fitting symbol for the city of thieves. Whiterun is the heart of Skyrim, its towering palace rivaling even the great castles of Cyrodiil. But should you tire of the Jarl's hospitality, another adventure awaits a few hours to the east of the city, along the road that rises above White River Gorge. The Ritual Stone can be found atop the lone hill that rises on the north side of the road, set into an ancient monument. Take time to soak in the incredible view of Whiterun, the tundra, and the gorge from this unique spot. More seasoned explorers may wish to visit Markarth, the ancient city of stone far to the west. The recent Forsworn rebellion has made travel in the Reach perilous, but for those determined to seek adventure no matter the cost, another stone can be found to the east of the city, perched on the mountain above Kolskegger Mine. Though the climb is difficult, reaching the summit is a milestone any explorer could be proud of. There are other stones of fate to be found in Skyrim. I myself have seen several more, perched on the most remote mountain peaks, or wreathed in fog amid the northern marshes. But the true joy of exploration is in the discovery, and so I leave the rest to you. May the 8 guide your steps.
Cyrodiil.
Imp stool, minor stamina. We can take the skeever tail, tongs, and ectoplasm, and another death bell. That's groovy. That death bell drops the number I need to 11. Cool. Looks like everything else. Oh, no, I can take the Hagraven feathers. An orange dartwing, a blue dartwing, a blisterwort, a bone meal, a rock warbler egg, 2 potions of minor healing, a canis root, and a blisterwort. And everything left I need to steal, so step 1 is to reset her to her counter. And we're actually going to run up on an hour if I offload now. So I'll call it a video and do the Bannered Mare next time. Now let's get back here first. Seems she can't be convinced not to turn.
Pardon me,
Alright,
but do I detect a case of the rattles?
we're gonna have to
I've
cheese it
got
up
something
then.
for that.
Well, it would certainly help to put my spell away. Damn, woman.
Hey, that is
Oh, come on. Oh. I accidentally set myself back here.
I sell cures for all ills.
Wasn't paying
and I'll be happy
attention.
to serve you.
It's alright. It's not a big deal. Doesn't take long. Well, let's not bother with the reset, though. Let's just put the spell away so we can hide a little better. Okay, got those 3. No problem.
Pardon me, but do I detect a case of the rattles? I've got something for that.
Okay, well the shelves are clear. That just leaves the counter.
I offer remedies for ailments both.
Those fire salts are important. I needed 8 more. That drops the number to 7.
common and rare. Do let me know if I can be of service.
We got tongs and void salts. Over here we just got 3 little potions. Okay. Arcadia's Cauldron is
I
clear.
have 7.
Let's do an offload. Let's start with her.
Maybe a hot.
What have you got
you're
for
interested
sale?
in my potions and ingredients?
I sure am. I can sell her the potion she gave me as a reward, plus everything I was allowed to take. I'll sell her those skulls. She'll buy food. That's interesting. Okay.
Come back anytime if you need a remedy.
Let's get Belethor next. Offload phase 2, if you will.
Go cast your fancy magic someplace else.
Take a good look around. I'm sure you'll find every trinkets, odds and ends, that sort of thing.
Oh, wooden sword. He'll buy all the clothes out of Arcadia's. For some reason, she wouldn't buy frostbite venom. Can also sell him books. And I can sell him clutter. Okay.
You come back.
Now let's head to Anissa's cabin. Once you fall into a routine, these things become pretty automatic. And everything gets substantially easier once we have a house in the city. The best, though, are the houses you can build yourself after you get married. You just have to make sure you marry somebody who opens the shop, and then you don't need to leave your house for anything, which is the ideal situation. You end up with smelters and all the other smithing equipment and your own enchanting altars. It's all very good, very handy. All that goes in there. Everything but the Haunting Brew mead goes in there. Books go in there. Didn't find excuse me. Didn't find any unique items, but that's not a big deal. All my ingredient, well, not all of them. Ingredients I don't have other uses for go in here. Okay, we'll do this one next. Nothing there, nothing there. All of these go in here. Oh, and I made a little mistake. What do you know? Let me stick the last 2 leather strips in here. Keep the 2 that I actually get to use. Now, here in the smithing sack, put away the garnet, the ruby. Need to jog back here to put away the silver ingot and the horker tusk. And now, amazingly, we're going to do our first little bit of smithing. Alteration went to 18. Let me get rested. Once this gets to 25, I'll unlock Apprentice Alteration, and then I will switch to Mage Light, because I'll be able to cast it reasonably fast. Let's activate the Warrior Stone for the first time. Well, I don't know who spotted me. I'm just going to go to Riverwood, because it's closest. We're finally able to use leather in smithing. There's no need to hoard leather anymore. And so what you want to do is just turn every bit of leather you can into leather strips. So right now I have 4 leather and 2 strips. I'm sorry, leather bracers, not leather strips. They cost 1 leather and 2 strips. So right now I have 4 leather and 2 strips. That's 3 and 6, which will be perfect. Be able to make 3 sets of bracers. One, 2, 3. Delightful. Now I want to sell those off. So let's wait 10 hours till Alvor shows up. Anyway, that was a microcosm, but we're able to start making leather bracers. And, you know, when you clear out caves with bears and wolves and whatnot inside them, you'll find yourself drowning in leather. And you can get a lot of smithing experience that way. I don't have any metal ingots that I don't still have to hoard, but when I do, the second way I like to raise smithing is to chop wood and turn those ingots into arrows, which is very efficient. And finally, in the distant future, when I'm done hoarding iron, if I still need smithing experience, I can use the transmute spell and all those jewels to make jewelry, which is the single best way, fastest way, greatest experience way to raise smithing. Alright, let's sell those off. Run back and put the Thief Stone back on. Then we'll pop back to Whiterun and call it a video. I didn't think I'd actually be able to do all 3 buildings in 1 hour, and that's turned out to be true. So, but we cleared Belethor's and Arcadia's Cauldron in short order, which I consider pretty good. Let's go to Whiterun again. There's some good news.
Go cast your fancy magic someplace else.
wolf that showed up for no reason. And you know what I just realized? I can give the wolf the treatment. So I'm gonna do that really quickly. But next time, well, I won't give my spiel just yet. Just idle around until I can cast Raise Zombie.
Hands to yourself, sneak thief.
It didn't work.
If you need
Well, that's really strange, but okay.
you should try Arcadia's Cauldron.
Let's head up back to that plaza. Now the good news is this. The Bannered Mare, our next target, which I'll do in the next video, is the last building in the Plains District. It's very easy to make things inside the Bannered Mare free to take, and the Plains District is the biggest district in Whiterun. So next time, we will tackle the Bannered Mare, as well as one, maybe two of the houses in the Wind District. Until then, I thank you all very much for watching, and hope you have a good weekend. Bye-bye.